Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of My Fiber Fun. Well, you guys, this is my regular Sunday episode, so I said, well, let me come on for a little chat. Uh, Today is going to rain. Yesterday was absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, and then for today to look the way that it does. So, I wasn't feeling the best yesterday. This MS attack is doing me, and so I'm gonna be calling tomorrow to find out the status of this medication. It's been 3 weeks now, and it should never have taken this long. So I have a feeling that the holdup is with the pharmacy. It's one of those mail order pharmacies, but they're connected to the pharmacy that I actually use. So I've called them and they said that it was with the mail order pharmacy and they gave me the number. So I called them. This was a week and a half ago. And they said that they were waiting on the prior authorization from my insurance, which I know it will be authorized because I've been on the medication before. Anyway, my insurance is usually very, very, very expedient with things like that. I have Blue Cross Traditional and and wait a minute, I'm working on my cousin's blanket and just messed up. Now I got to frog the whole row because I don't know where I left off and where the mess up began. So here we go, okay? Anyway, and I've got a month to get this done because I decided I am going to attend the family reunion. After all, I said I may as well, why suffer in silence here when I can be with my family and suffer there? And with the medicine, I'll be able to, because I have another cousin who's going to be there. She's from Kansas. She has MS and she's on the same exact medication that I'm going on. And then my other cousin I was telling you about, I don't think I told you about him, the one I made the Afghan for. Maybe I did. Well, he has Parkinson's. And then I have another cousin. Yeah, autoimmune disease runs rampant through my family. But anyway, so I'm quite sure we'll all get together in our own spot. We'll be okay. And then, of course, I'll have my mask and everything. I just want to see my family and stuff, especially at a time like this. But anyway, what was I talking about before I got off into that? Uh, uh, I can't remember, y'all. I'm sorry. I just totally lost my train of thought of what I was saying before this. Anyway, if this cuts off abruptly, I was talking about the medicine. I'll get to that in a second. But if this tape cuts off or this film cuts off abruptly, it's either my sister calling me back or my storage is running out again because my storage ran out yesterday and it was a nightmare. I've been deleting pictures and videos and all that, over 5,000 yesterday, and it hasn't budged but one gigabyte, okay? So I'm like, come on now. So I'm thinking I might have to do what I did the last time this happened. I just reset the phone altogether and just put it back to normal. But I'm gonna have to get my YouTube password before I do that. And then the other thing too, I have iCloud. I pay for that each month, $10. So anything I delete and wipe off of this phone, it will go into the cloud and pick up on my iPad and everything. And when it did it before, actually, a lot of the stuff ended up coming back to the phone, but I've gone almost a year with no problems, but I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna have to do. Okay, so back to the medicine. Okay, so anyway, I know it's not my insurance because I have Medicare, of course, being on disability, but my secondary insurance through retirement is Blue Cross Blue Shield traditional. I retired on non-duty from the school system. I was 38 when I retired. I had started working for the school system at the age of 17, and the lady from disability said, by a span of maybe a few hours, she said, you qualify for retirement. She was like, and you're only 38. Hey, slap me five. I've been getting retirement since 38 and I'm 60 now. So, they've been trying to knock me off. But anyway, it hasn't happened because my doctor, every year they send all these papers and my doctor, he fills them out. And they always ask, do you expect her condition to improve or go away? MS is non-curable. So he has everything. He just makes copies of the papers he sent the year before and sends them and everything is fine. But I was in the last bunch that the following year after I retired, they went to HMO, HAP. And oh, all my friends that I used to work with who have since retired, they say it's horrible. And they were like, how did you wind up with Blue Cross? And I explained to them how it happened. I'm so glad because we had something called MESA, I wasn't a teacher, but it was the teacher's plan. They paid into it. And so we were able to do it as well. Our union negotiated for that. And so I decided to take MESA, and shoot, that mess was $100 a month, but it paid off. Believe me, I've received more than what I put into it, considering I was in my 20s back then, and now I'm in my, 60s, and I retired at 38. I've been retired longer than I actually worked for no, wait, how many years did I have in? 38. I started at 17, 27, 37. I worked 21 years, and I've been retired now. Let's see, I retired in 2000, officially in 2002, 22, 3, 4, 5. I've been retired longer by 2 years than what I worked. So anyway, and then next, once I turn 62, I'll be 61 this year. Then I'll get my full retirement. Right now I'm on non-duty, so I get a small amount each month. It's decent. I mean, it helps because it comes mid-month. And then my full benefits, vision. The dental isn't the best. They only give you $1,000 a year, but the vision is good. And then Blue Cross, traditional, the old school Blue Cross, the good kind. So so my insurance is good, and they have always been on top of things. I've never had a problem with them. In fact, they send me reminders of when it's time for different medical tests and mammograms and things like that. During the pandemic, they would send me care packages, whenever I'm hospitalized. And that might be happening, y'all, if this MS attack doesn't wane real fast here, or if this medicine doesn't come real fast. So I'll keep y'all updated on that. But but whenever I'm hospitalized, that hospital phone ring is always my representative from Blue Cross calling. We see that you're hospitalized. Is there anything we can do? Blah, 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 blah. They've come to visit, because they have representatives, all over. So it has been nothing but wonderful. Like I said, the care packages, all that stuff. I've never had a problem. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I'm working on my cousin's blanket today, which I just frogged a row because I messed up. But anyway, and I see right where I messed up at the beginning, I put a single crochet when I was supposed to be starting it with the double. That's the problem right there. But anyway, so yeah, this Michaels thing, y'all. Ooh, I've been going through the videos. It has created some drama. Those who are against it are adamantly against it, and those who are for it are for it. It has turned into a war. It's this one channel. I didn't even subscribe, but I watched, and I've been following it. I have to find it. If I find it, I'll pin the channel name. Ooh, they've gotten into a little spat over there where some people are telling, because this lady, she came in blazing, and, she ran the history of what Michaels do. That she said that they bought AC Moore. She said that they bought Hancock Fabrics, and they bought something else, and they made all these big promises. She was like, and then nothing's there. All you see is loops and threads, and then they dwindled their yarn section and all this stuff. And then for those who do have fabric counters, they're using the framing counter for that. Now, ours do have a fabric counter, but it's just a little small island in the middle of the aisle. I don't know how they're going to work that out. And I really don't see any, unless they remove some of those decorations and stuff. So, I mean, I wasn't totally against what this lady had to say, because what she said is what I've seen. But I can see where it can work. If they take some of the decorations out of there, some of that stuff that's not selling, they might need to do an inventory of what's selling good and what's not. And then just start clearing that stuff out. They can make room, in our Michaels at least. Okay, and our Michaels is not it's not even halfway the size of our Joann's, the one that just closed in Auburn Hills. I am convinced that they're going to put the Michaels there. If they do, that solves the problem for me and for my area. Because if they open up a Michaels in that old Joann spot, and they are going to be opening up some, I think they said 200 stores or something. I might be wrong, so don't quote me on the number. But I know they said they're going to be opening up some brick and mortar stores, some new stores. If that spot is open, that one in Auburn Hills, and remember, my other Michaels, although it's close to me, it's in Lake Orion, a different city. And like I said, we have double stores all over. It'd be the same store, but one in one city, one in the other. That's just the way it works, although these cities border each other. But the point is, if they open that Michaels in that old Joann spot, then there's nothing to complain about because they will have the room. And Joann, you know, they had a lot of decorations, and then they had the huge fabric department. That took up most of Joann's, their fabric department. The counters are already there. I guess they left them there. And then in the back, that's where they kept the yarn. And then the embroidery stuff. Michaels could have a field day at that location. And they could actually close the one in Lake Orion. They may or may not. Or either they can make that one in Lake Orion, you know, they could keep it the way it is and just eliminate the yarn altogether. And everybody will know the shoot to Auburn Hills is not but 2 minutes away from the other one. So I'm quite sure people would not mind driving if that Michaels carry what Joann's carry. And it would be a win-win for us. Now, other cities and states and stuff, I don't know. Everybody's not going to be happy. But anyway, yeah, it's been some drama over there because some people are saying, like, for instance, this one lady from Florida, she was like, our Michaels is excellent. It's big. We have lots of yarn. We have lots of fabric. We have this. And that's true. If you have a big space, you can do all that. But then some people, you know, have the smaller ones. And then one of the Canadian members said, well, we didn't get anything, you know, Big Twist wise, so I'm happy. So those who are happy, and they're standing their ground, and those who are mad, and it just started getting nasty. It just started getting nasty where people were like, well, it's her opinion. But, you know, like I said, a lot of the things she said, you know, I followed along with. I've seen some of the things she talked about, but some of the things she talked about, I have not seen, and I haven't been shopping Michaels long enough to even notice different things. But I do know the yarn at ours there's more to be desired. Okay, that was my only complaint. Everything else is fine. The staff is nice. The store is clean. I mean, you see the workers out there. I don't have a complaint. So I didn't even respond to that because I was like, I'm just going to read what they're talking about. The drama, okay? I'm going to find that and I'm going to post it. So post the link so you could at least see it, or you can go add your opinion or whatever, you know. But yeah, it's something. But yeah, this lady, she came out blazing about it. And that's fine, you know, she's entitled to her opinion, so I'm not going to be nasty and tell her, you know, not to say whatever, because some people's like, well, why would you even do that? And you haven't even given them a chance to see what they're going to do, and you really don't know what goes on behind the scenes. That's true, too. But when things start getting nasty, that's where there's a problem, and things started getting nasty. Okay, so I'll find that, and I'll pin it to this. But basically, I'm going to get off of here because I'm playing with fire here because this can cut off at any second, you know, with my limited space here. So I'm going to get back to crocheting. I'm resting today. I'm trying to give my legs time to rest. My doctor wants me to keep moving, but the moving is what's getting me. Every time I try to do things and whatnot, I go downhill. When I sit still, I find that I feel better. And I feel like I'm getting better when I'm sitting still. So I'm like, okay, doctor, I'm not going to move. I might do some chair exercises. You know, I might do that. Maybe that's what he meant. But all this walking around and stuff, I'm not doing it. I'm still using my walker. You see it right here. And then my cane is right there, okay? So I use the cane like to go to the bathroom or whatever if I have to make a short trip. The walker is for the kitchen. I'm cooking in the oven, and you know, all my rugs are up, the ones that I could get up, because you always take your rugs up when you have an MS attack because your fall risk is high. I haven't fallen because I'm using the walker. That's the main reason. And it takes the pressure off my legs. But I'm cooking today in the oven. I'm baking some chicken. I just put it on. So I must have this walker because I have a U-step. And I'm going to pull my handle back here. The U-step, it's a U shaped and it catches you. First of all, you have to press the things to get it to move. When it's not pressed, oops, I just dropped my water. Oops, sorry. If you don't press it, it won't move. Okay, so that's safety feature number one. Actually, this is for Parkinson's patients. I want my cousin to get one, and he hasn't yet. He just has a regular walker with the tennis balls at the bottom. I was like, your insurance will pay for you to have a U-step. And they pay for only, this is made for Parkinson's patients, but the insurance approved it for MS patients. Now, the Parkinson's patients have a light. It comes with a built-in light. And what it does is it gives them a light way when they walk to keep them straight when they walk. For MS patients, since we don't need the light, they won't pay for the light. It comes with the light, and that light was like $2,000. And so if you don't pay for it out of pocket for the light, they take it off. So my little walker has a hole in the middle of it because I told them, oh, I'm not paying no $2,000 just for a light. I'll use my flashlight and walk. I was like, but I really don't need the light. I was like, so take it off. And they did, okay? And I had to wait an extra day for the walker. And they soldered that little hole in it to remove the light. But I have the walker, and it has a bar. The bar that's on it is seated. It has a seat on it so you can sit down. It has a storage area under the seat. And then the bar is shaped like, the walker itself is shaped like a U. That's why it's called U-step. And then the handle is shaped like a U. It doesn't go straight across. And what it's designed